Hello everybody, welcome to Yoga for Self-Love with Kim. I am Kim. This will be a short slow flow vinyasa practice. We will get our bodies moving, blood pumping, get the prana flowing through our meridians, nadis, channels, whatever you want to call them. And we will bring our focus to the back body, strengthening and finding some opening and release through the back body. So let's begin. Bring yourself to child's pose at the back of your mat. You may want a couple blocks for this practice. We will add on a warrior 3 in a little bit. And so if you know that you like blocks for your warrior 3, please feel free to have them handy. So bring big toes towards each other. Come back to sit on your heels. Walk the hands forward and find your way into your child's pose. You could have the knees together or the knees wide, making a little bit more space for the belly. So see what feels right for you. Give yourself a few wiggles from side to side if that feels good. Or you could just settle in and just find a little bit of stillness here before we start to move. You can relax the third eye space down onto your mat or make a little pillow with the hands or tuck a block underneath your forehead. And if it feels okay for you, close your eyes and just allow yourself to arrive to your practice. Finding this little sacred time, sacred space just for you, nothing else, just you with yourself, body, mind, breath, and spirit. Take a moment to check in and assess, how are you doing today? How do you feel? How does your body feel? What does your energy feel like? How does your breath feel? Notice any thoughts running through your mind, any emotions you may be dealing with today, and just take stock of it all without any judgment. Just be curious. I invite you to bring in the intention to be gentle, kind, patient, loving, and compassionate with yourself as you move through this practice today. Carry that intention off the mat out into the world with you if you so choose. Just take a few nice, deep, smooth, steady breaths into the nose, all the way down into the belly. Fill up the belly, the rib cage, back of the rib cage. Feel the whole back body filling up with your breath, the back of the lungs. And then releasing the breath with the exhale, all the way back and out through the nose. Take a few more deep breaths like this, filling up the whole body, the whole torso. Feeling the whole back body fill up with your breath. And releasing it back out with the exhalation. A few more deep breaths like that. And then begin to blink your eyes open. Slowly walk yourself up to sit on your heels. And we'll interlace fingers behind you. You can have a bigger little bend in the elbows. Maybe keep the hands on the sacrum or begin to pull the hands up off of the back. Feel an opening through the chest. And then release the hands. Let's bring the finger pads together up overhead. Pull the palms wide, coming into Hakini Mudra or Sphere Mudra. Pressing finger pads together, turning on through the whole back body. And then release the hands down. Bring ourselves on to hands and knees, finding a table pose. Wiggle your hips from side to side. And then bring yourself to center. We'll take it into a few barrel rolls. Roll the hips over to the left side and then press into your hands, round up through your back. So if you're coming into cat pose, draw the front body
up towards the back body, and then we'll shift the ribcage over to the right, and then soften the belly, let it drop down, bring yourself through center, finding cow pose, and then again we'll roll the ribcage over to the left, press into the hands, round it through the back, bring it through center, over to the right, and then a few more of these big circles, circling the whole ribcage, torso around. And then switch the direction of your barrel rolls. And then bring yourself back to center. Keeping the hips where they are, lined up over the knees, we'll begin to walk the hands forward, lower the heart down towards the mat, coming into puppy pose or Anahatasana. If it works for you, you could drop your forehead down to the mat or maybe your chin. You can have the forearms down, or you could be up on the hands with the forearms lifted. Maybe even come up onto your finger pads. And then we'll plant the hands here, drop the forearms down to the mat if they're not already there, and then wiggle yourself down onto your belly. Let's take it into a Sphinx pose. Spread the fingers wide. Elbows lined up underneath the shoulders. Press into your finger pads. Press down into your feet and your pubic bone. Magnetically draw the hands back towards the body as you pull the heart forward. Begin to lift up the heart, lift up the gaze. And then relax that down. Now let's take the hands into a little pillow here, one stacked on top of the other. Rest your forehead down onto your hands. And then we'll lift the legs up behind. And then release the legs down, feet down. Now keep rooting down through tops of the feet, down through the pubic bone. Let's reach the arms forward. Take a deep breath and lift the heart, lift the arms. Breath or two here. Keeping the feet heavy. And then lower yourself down, keeping the arms extended. Now we'll, on an inhale, lift up the right arm and the left leg. So opposite arm, opposite leg, lift it up. And then release it down. Take it to the other side. Deep breath in. Lift that left arm and right leg. As you exhale, release it down. Let's try it again. Other side. Right arm, left leg, lift and release. Left arm, right leg, lift and release. Let's put it all together. Bring yourself into our full locust pose or Shalabhasana. Deep breath in. Lift the arms. Lift up the legs. Hold it here, or bend the elbows, pull the elbows out to the side. Maybe you lift the heart a little bit higher, and then bring the arms forward again. One more time, elbows pull to the side, heart lifts. Arms reach forward again, and then you release yourself down. Hands under shoulders, press yourself up into a table. Let's roll through some cat-cow, just to loosen up through the spine now. Inhaling as you lift the tail, soften the belly, pull the heart forward. Exhale as you press into your hands, round up through your back, drop the tailbone down. A few more times, roll yourself back and forth. Bring yourself back into your table. Let's tuck toes under, press into the finger pads. Press into the hands, send the hips up and back, down dog with a bend in the knees. Nice long spine. And take whatever movement you like here, or find a little stillness and breathe into it. Then we'll crouch down, bend the knees, draw the belly back towards the thighs, and then send your hips up and back into downward dog. Bend the knees, crouch it down again. This time when you send the hips up and back, send the right leg up with you for a three-legged dog. Bend that right knee, shift forward, coming into a core plank. And then we'll send the right leg up and back again, three-legged dog. Release that foot down. Crouch yourself down, send left leg up, three-legged dog. Bend that left knee, shift it forward, find that core plank, send that left leg up and back again, three-legged dog, and then release that foot down. Walk yourself up, top of the mat. Take it into a forward fold. Belly to the thighs, let the head go, hinge from the hips, shake out the head. Nod, shake, nod. Rock the hips. And then bring it to center, hands to the hips, press into your feet. Bring it all the way up. Let's take the palms together up overhead. Maybe the heart lifts into a little bit of a back bend here. And then hands come down to the heart. Let's inhale, reach the arms up. As you exhale, we'll fold it back into that forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up to your flat back. And then exhale, plant hands, step yourself back into your plank. Let's drop the knees down to the mat. Lower yourself down, pubic bone, belly, torso. Reach the arms forward. And then inhale, lift it up. Arms and legs lift, finding that locust pose. Hands underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes, let's press it up into a down dog. From your down dog, crouch down, send right leg up, three-legged dog. Bend that right knee, shift it forward, step that right foot through the right thumb, drop the left heel to the mat. Press into that back heel, left hip moving back, right hip hugging back. Press into that right foot, lift yourself up. Let's reach the arms up. Rib cage spins up towards the top of the mat. Take finger pads together up overhead, palms pulled wide. Again for our sphere mudra. And then let's take the palms together at the heart. Begin to step forward into that right foot. Lift up from the belly and extend that left leg up and back behind you for a warrior three. If you like, grab your 2 blocks, put them down on the mat, and reach your hands down to the blocks. Slowly step that left foot back to the mat. Bring it back up into your warrior one. Hands come up overhead. And then hands come back down to the mat. We'll step it back into plank. Drop the knees down. Lower yourself down to your belly. Arms reach forward. And again, inhale, lift everything up, arms and legs. Shalabhasana. Turning on through that back body. Release it down. Hands underneath the shoulders. Tuck toes and send yourself up. Down dog. Let's crouch down. Send that left leg up. Three-legged dog. Bend that knee, shift it forward. Find your core plank and then step that left foot through. Drop that right heel to the mat. Left hip hugs back. Lift it up. Bend that left knee. Bring it into your warrior one. Finger pads together overhead. Hands come together. Slide hands down to your heart. Let's take it into warrior three. Rooting down into that left foot. You're going to take the weight forward. Lift up from your belly. Send that right leg up and back. Toes turning down towards the mat. Hip in neutral, arms reaching forward. Nice long spine. And then we slowly step it back. Warrior one. Sphere mudra up overhead. Let's take palms back to the heart. Plant the hands down on the mat. Step it back to your plank. Lower knees down. Come all the way down again. Let's reach the arms forward. And again, take it up into our locust pose. Hands come back down. Tuck toes under. Send the hips up. Downward dog. And we'll step or hop it up towards the top of the mat. Come back into your forward fold. Halfway lift. Fold yourself back in. Press into your feet. Rise up. Palms back to heart. Let's reach the arms up again. Fold it in. Halfway lift. Flat back. Plant your hands down. Step yourself back to plank. Either drop knees down. Come down onto your belly. Or we'll take it into a chaturanga low push-up. And then slowly lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Untuck the toes. Again, we take it into our Shalabhasana. Arms reaching forward. Inhale as you lift. Hands come back down under the shoulders, tuck toes. Press yourself up. Down dog. Bend the knees, crouch it down. Left leg up, three-legged dog. Let's take it forward, core plank, step left foot through. Drop that right heel to the mat. Press into your feet, lift yourself back up. Front knee bends. Finger pads come together overhead. Sphere mudra. Hands come back down to the heart. Let's take it back into our warrior three. Weight into that front foot. Shift it forward. Begin to lift up that right leg, lifting from the belly. Send that right leg out and back behind you. Arms reach forward. And then root into that standing leg. Begin to lift up the torso. Draw the right knee up towards the chest. And then extend that right leg out in front of you. Press out through that right heel. Lift up through that right quad. And then we bend that right knee. Slide the leg back behind you. Back through your warrior three. And then right foot comes back to the mat. Bring it back into our warrior one. Hands to the mat. Step it back to plank. Lower down to the belly. Your way. Arms reach forward. Lift it up. And then hands come back down, tuck toes. We'll send ourselves up and back, down dog. Other side, crouch down. Right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, shift forward. Step right foot through. Drop the left heel. Hug the right hip back. Lift yourself up. Let's find that warrior one. Finger pads together overhead. And then palms together at the heart. Let's take it into our warrior three on this side. Send the weight forward into that right leg. Lift up through the belly. Send that left leg back behind you. Arms forward. And then root down into that standing leg. Lift yourself up. Left knee draws up towards the chest. And take the arms out to the sides. Extend that left leg out in front of you. And then bend the left knee. Send that left leg back into your warrior three. Arms reaching forward, spine long. Left foot comes back to the mat. You lift it back up into your warrior one. Palms together at the heart. Hands down to the mat. Step it back into downward dog. Let's walk it out here, pedal it out. Find any movement you like. Or again, maybe if you feel it, just be still. Come back to the breath. Lower knees down to the mat. Come back to sit on your heels. Let's draw the elbows back, fingers reaching up. And we'll round through the upper back, send the hands forward, bring your finger pads together. And again, lift yourself up, elbows lift up, arms pull back, fingers reaching up towards the ceiling, arms reach forward, rounding through the upper back, finger pads come together. And then bring hands together at the heart. Take one hand to heart, one hand to belly. Close the eyes again. Come back to your breath. And give yourself a little smile. Thank yourself for showing up for you, for your practice today. Awesome job. And then palms together at the heart. Thank you so much for sharing this short, sweet, energizing vinyasa slow flow practice with me today. With love and gratitude. Namaste.